excited to be on here. I love coming on here and I love talking to my spinal flow practitioners that are doing incredible stuff around the world. And I have got Kim here. So thank you for joining us today.
You are so welcome. Thank you for having me.
I'm just so excited that you are here. And where are you located? Tell us where your practice is.
I'm in the States, on the East Coast, up in the New England area, about an hour south of Boston in Massachusetts.
Nice one. And you were just saying as well that you're just newly certified and tell us you're having some good results.
I have to tell you, I am just trying to follow everything you've taught us through this entire training and duplicate it the way you've shown us. And I just signed my 26th client this morning that are coming regularly for 12 sessions, because that's kind of how I offer it, the way you taught us. And I just got certified on Christmas Eve, so it's been 6 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of assessments, a lot of conversion right into treatment. Like there's really not too many folks that say no. And if they do, it's really just because they're just not ready to commit the way they want to. So I've got all their stuff on hold and I've got an appointment to follow back up with them. So there weren't any really like, nope, it's not for me and walk away. It's been amazing.
Saying that the reason why, we don't schedule everybody 12 at all. We really do an assessment to see what's going on. But it does seem that a lot of people that come to see us have stress and tension in their body that they've had for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. So we seem to attract a lot of people that have got so much. So what I share is that, hey, that can take time. Equally, we can have like little bubbas or little kids that are just might be one session and their body does really well. But it really depends on what's happening in their body at the time. We do an assessment, we have a look at posture, we kind of see how many blockages are there, and we kind of work on what's going on. Now, you did share with me that you're working with, was it someone with breast cancer?
Yes, she is a survivor. We are very grateful and blessed that that is the case. She had a double mastectomy. And when they did her reconstructive surgery, the implants, they did them under the muscle tissue, which was causing some problems. She actually wrote a really nice big long review on my Facebook page about it. This was her first experience where she found amazing results, was actually one of my homework assignments for my certification. And then that sold her to become a client. But she described a ratchet strap feeling around her rib cage where she couldn't take a deep breath, and loss of feeling on the skin in the area where under her right axillary and her armpits area, they had to take out all the lymph nodes. And that shoulder just has been giving her a really hard time. And she owns a small farm. So she's very active and had no range of motion and a lot of pain and discomfort in this whole area. And just the treatment from the very first time, she described right away, she was able to take a deep breath and actually started to get some sensation back in the skin in the area where her surgery was. And as we've been working, her reaction is interesting. Her nervous system seems to engage right away, and there's a lot of spastic movement around the shoulder area. But I've noticed treatment to treatment, how I'm able to see the flow increasing and it getting more fluid. And it's, you can really notice vertebrae to vertebrae how it's starting to not just get stuck in one area and stop and stuck. She's really starting to work with it, and her system's responding, and it's flowing all the way up, and she's noticing other things are getting better. She's able to lift and move the shoulder more. There's not any pain as much as before. The breath is coming much easier. So she's much more comfortable than she was when she started, which is really nice for her.
That's so good. And I love what you said, like when you said like vertebra by vertebra, because that's my favorite thing. Because often if there's a blockage, it can be, let's just say one vertebra is not moving and it's blocked there. If that's sort of left, the one above can become blocked and the one below, and then all of a sudden it starts to work as a block. So rather than every vertebra having beautiful movement, which we're supposed to in our spine, it's like there can be a block. So when we start to work with the spinal flow technique and we start to see the little vertebra starting to move, we're like, yes, because when there's movement and less blockages, the flow of energy is coming up through the spine, coming back down, but also opening up the nerves and doing what the body needs to do, which is so exciting. So I love that that you're working with her. And I love, with the lymph and the skin, like getting all of those changes coming back. It's amazing.
Yeah, she was really getting discouraged because it had been a year or so since the surgery, and she really didn't think she was going to get that kind of mobility and feeling back. But she did her research and she saw what I was doing and followed my work and started watching all of your videos and seeing what you do and really kind of investigated and said, you know what, it's worth a try. Nothing else is working. And she works for a chiropractor and she gets adjustments and she does PT. And what she's noticing is that with spinal flow, they're actually getting better results in their work with her because her body's accepting more of what's happening to it now. So that was even kind of interesting to hear.
That's so good. It's so true. Like it's, we work with the nervous system, the brain, the spine, but if the body's in fight, flight and the nervous system is in fight, flight, it's really hard to heal. So actually moving the body out of fight, flight, getting movement through the vertebra, it's better for every part of her, but also for her team. I learned so much for me when I was in not so much your area, but when I went and I worked at Texas Back Institute at that was amazing because it really showed me what happens when different modalities work together. And that, we had our chiros, we had osteos, we had PT, we had nutrition, we had OTs, we had surgeons, we just had everyone under the same roof doing what they know, and the results were incredible. At that place, they prevented 85% of surgeries. Like, that's insane.
I tell that story almost to every single person in my assessments. When I heard that, when your work, I literally, that to me is like, sign the deal. Like that, it means all the world when you see those kind of results.
Well, it just shows me that the body can heal. But it also shows me that, what, some of these people, when I was there, not some of them, most of them, they came with their suitcases. They were coming to this place until they were better. And it's not a timing. It's not like, hey, it's going to happen in a day at all. It's like, we've got a team. We're looking at this body from every angle. We used to meet in the morning, like they had all the neurologists and orthopedics and like all the departments would be there. They'd put the people's x-rays out. It's just such, I haven't been there for, it's probably 20 years way more. No, it's way more. It's before I had kids, so it's probably even 30. It's a long time since I've been there. But when I was there, I can't even imagine what they're doing now. It was just amazing to be part of this incredible place. And that belief is that the body, and after years and years of tension and blockages, it does need help, and sometimes it does need a team. So you've got a team there, you're working, you've got the PT, you've got the chiro, like all great modalities to come together and help this woman function and feel great in her body.
Especially coming out of like the world of oncology. Imagine the massive amounts of doctors that she had working on her through that whole process. Like, she's used to a team. So I was just so grateful that she asked me to be part of it. So now I'm always asking, so how did your other appointments go? Were things better? Or did it make it easier? So it really does connect our work together to everything else. And she feels like it's a full, it's a village. We're all trying to just get her to a better place.
So good. And that's what we're supposed to be, isn't it? We're supposed to be a village. We're supposed to, be in community. And I think there'll be a lot happier people if we did live like a village and we were more connected and not isolated and not separated. There's so much loneliness out there because we're living lives so separately. So to come together, especially as a bunch of healers, is pretty amazing as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell me about your next person that you were telling me about.
So this is a very special client. She is actually a life coach and does a lot of work herself with clients. So she understands the importance of the body and healing. And she is very much in her body. But when we did her health questionnaire, there are some very big traumas that happened in her lifetime from childhood all the way up, involving physical abuse, drug use, homelessness. Like there was just a lot. Like, so proud of where she is today, but I think it was more, she knew that her mind had gotten to a good place around it, but her body hadn't released what had happened to her. And she was really willing to do some deep work and wanted to know if spinal flow could help right away. Very first session, very emotional releases. And to the point, it was almost good they was face down. It caught me off guard at first. A little tear came out of my eye. Like I was so connected and invested, like threw on the mud boots up to the knees in the crud with her, like wanted to make sure she was supported. It really just got me out of my head, and I was in it with her, supported her body as it was moving, as she was crying, as she was releasing, but keeping myself mindful, watch the flow, see what happens, because she would get stuck. And then we would just guide her together, and I would just kind of, I guess, be the cheerleader, like kind of just, you can do this, you got this, you're safe, you're good, and help the spine increase the flow. And she walked out feeling like she was 1,000 times lighter. She texts me at least 3 or 4 days before her treatment every week and says, I cannot wait to get back in. Like she's so excited. And I get so excited for her because every time she comes in, it's like a whole layer has dumped off of her. And she just says how much lighter she feels every time she comes in, like her body can handle more. She has more energy. She is happier. She's not triggered by things that she doesn't understand anymore, because she feels like her head is wrapped around it, but her body won't let go of it. So if she experiences something or her body reacts, that's what it was always like for her. She never knew if a situation was going to throw her off or not. And now she just looks brighter every time she comes in. I don't know how better way to explain it. She just texted me this morning. She's coming in on Saturday and she cannot wait for her next session. So she's been truly a gift. I can tell she's doing some really deep work, and she's getting a lot of benefit out of it emotionally and physically. So very happy for her.
Separate, like I share all the time, how our spine is and how we hold our body is no different. Like it's a reflection of what's happening in our mind and our life. And so if things aren't working in our mind and our world, they don't work in our body too. The body gets hard and it holds together. So we've got a really nice way to, like, as opposed to coming in from the mind, we can come in through the body and make things flow and make things easy and have more connections and more innate intelligence that runs up and down, more healing that happens. And then what happens is people are like, oh, but I feel better and I've got clearer thoughts and I've got less stress and I'm happier. And we're like, yes. And like you said, she's had so much trauma and so much stuff in her world. And I've shared this many times that I never wanted to be a musculoskeletal specialist ever. I just did it. And I was like, I don't want to be the best person that does knees and backs. And that's not my gig at all. But I really want to change lives. Like I really want to look at these people that are walking around and they're not okay, or they're in pain, or they're stressed, or they're unhappy, or they've had trauma and their bodies are holding. I was like, can we help them live a different life? And that's what you're doing, which is amazing.
It's the type of work where I get so excited coming in, and I find myself having conversations with their bodies almost in my mind, because I'm like, come on, you can do this, you can do this, I got you, yes, I can feel that you got this. And every once in a while I will verbalize, yes, you got this. And it's just, I guess I just look forward to seeing what's going to happen every time I come in, because no 2 sessions have been the same with that one client or with any of my clients. It's been wild. So it's exciting.
I love that. I'm going to share that. I'm going to put on my different voice now as teacher of the Spinal Fluid Certification Program now. I'm going to put that little voice on because I think it's really important. I've got no idea who's listening to this, but there'll be lots of people. They are some of the biggest, not secrets that I share, but they are some of the biggest things that I share with you guys, like how you hold space for people to heal is your own beliefs. It's your own excitement. And you could be watching this going, what are you talking about? And I was like, but it's true. Because for me, I've only done healing. I haven't done anything else. I was at school. I went to become a chiro. I learned different techniques. This is all I've done my whole life. So for me, I'm so certain about the body's ability to heal. But I'm so excited I don't see people anymore, but when I did, every single person I worked with, I'm like, oh, what's going to happen? And because like their bodies were stuck and everything was going on, I'm like, I can't wait to see what's going to happen. What's going to happen? It's going to be amazing. And then when things started to move and change, I'm like, this is your body changing. But I can tell you, when you hold that as a space, your clients, they love it. They're like, oh, you understand my body. Oh, you believe my body can heal. I'm like, absolutely, I believe that. I know that. And so what you were saying is, I think that's I'm going to say that's why you're very successful. It's because you have that belief and you have that excitement that every contact, every reaction is different, and we can expect everything to happen in that time. And it's exciting. It's like, oh, what's the body going to do?
It's part of my assessment is to get them super duper excited that I absolutely with conviction expect change out of their body every single time they come in, whether it's something they thought would happen or not, whether I thought it would happen or not. I have no idea what the body's going to do that day, but I'm there for it. I'm in it. Like I'm jumping in the ring with you, like whatever is going to happen, I'm there for it. And let's just see what happens. And I think after doing a health questionnaire that really digs deep into all the traumas and the pains and the discomfort and the disease, and they kind of sit there and look at you like, wow, I really didn't know how much did happen to my body since the day I've been born to today. And I said, but that's okay, because it was born with all the instructions and the manual, how to run everything in your body. And it's just only getting some of the pages. So I need to help your body remember where all the pages, and so it gets all the information. So it just really reminds people that they have everything they need in their body, and that I'm just there to remind it. It's not me doing it. They're doing all the work. They've got everything they need. So
but what you've got is you've got the belief that the
Yeah.
body is amazing, the body's clever, the body knows exactly what to do. There's a wisdom in the body. And so when you have that belief, your clients can only surrender and go, okay. But I love how part of your initial assessment, I love what you say, because this is great for everybody on here that are practitioners, because they can learn a huge amount from you, because you get them excited. And also, I'm saying I'm so excited about all the things, I'm saying them all at the same time. But the fact is that you expect change. I don't let anyone off my table ever if there's not change, which means there's always change. Always there's change. And so every contact there's change, because I won't have it any other way. And when you know that and you believe that, your clients' results are just so much quicker and faster because you expect change.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And even running a 2-hour clinic, 30 minutes on, off, on, off, on, off. When I say, hello, nice to see you, and I give them a quick assessment, I let them know what I'm feeling. But before they get off that table, this is the change that I saw and felt during your session today. Like, this is amazing. Go home and celebrate this. Be kind to your body today. Cannot wait to see you next time. And they jump off the table like, woo. And I mean, there are some times, like some of these stories I'm telling you, they'll text me later on that day and be like, I'm kind of feeling a little tired, a little sore. I'm like, give your body rest. It's working things out. This is expected. We talked about this. You're in it. Like, you're fine. Let me know if anything else comes up tomorrow. And I check in on them and they're like, I feel like $1 million. I'm like,
it's
trust.
Yeah. And like for you, if you're watching this and you are a practitioner or you're a client, like this is healing, right? You're here and you want to go there. This is what it's not. That. If it was that, we'd be like, yes, it's easy. It's just not. It's like, yeah, I feel great. She's amazing. Right. Oh, shit. Oh, I feel better. Oh, shit. It's like, but hang on. You're still here. You're not there. But healing is one of those processes where you might have started with a practitioner and thought, wow, they're amazing. And then you felt a little crappy. You're like, no, they're crap. It's like, no, they're not crap. And your body's not crap. Your body's probably completely different to how it was. But yes, the body's changing and rearranging and symptoms come up. So it's really normal as a client to feel that. But also as a practitioner, it's really normal for you to see it. And that's why we say, do the assessments, just check. As long as their body's changing, it's okay. Sometimes people have, the other thing is sometimes people have pain, right? And they've got pain and you notice the most amazing change in their body and all the things are moving, but that pain signal's still holding on. The pain signal hasn't gone, but their whole function and physiology has changed. The other thing that can happen, but the pain signal's staying on for a lot longer. The other opposite thing that can happen, which I don't like either, is that I start working with someone and their pain signal goes off within like one session or half an hour. And they're like, you've cured me. And I'm like, oh, you haven't. But that pain signal came off. And that's even scarier. I mean, they think I'm amazing, but it's not that. It's scary for me because we actually really haven't changed the function and the structure and got rid of the blockages. The pain signal just went off. So we have to know that there's a pain signal with a body and healing is a process. But I just think you need to celebrate who you are because you're like holding space like a I was going to say something rude, but I'll say like an incredible, beautiful, grounded healer. That's a better word to say, wasn't it? Than get my swear words out.
I guess I've never been so excited about being so, I don't want to say uncertain, but not knowing, but like knowing. Like I know something's going to happen, but I don't know what that something's going to be, but I'm so certain it's going to happen that I get excited to figure out what it is every time I start. So it's kind of a weird,
but it's going
an
from a
interesting
healer.
concept.
Yeah. It's going from a healer that's in their mind, or a practitioner that's like, this happens, to actually a healer practitioner, healing practitioner that trusts their body, that trusts the wisdom inside their body, which means we don't know what's going to happen. We know change is going to happen, but we don't know which order or how. And we fully just trust that, you know what, the body will do what it needs to do in its way. And I'm the same. I was so, every contact, every person, I'm like, oh, I'm excited. And I think that excitement is what's felt. That means that people come to you because they're excited, because you're excited. And a lot of these people are not excited. Like they're not feeling good in their bodies. But when you can show them there's change and you can show them that their body is smart, it's the best thing ever. Tell us,
Well, I mean,
you said you were working with people with anxiety.
well, I was just going to say one of the things I was telling you earlier was that something that's come up across almost every single client, and a few very in particular ones, they've gotten so discouraged with their situation and no one's been able to give good answers. It's raising their anxiety level about their ability to heal or about their situation. And just everyday life in this world is so stressful right now. I mean, I feel like even lately, everybody that comes to see me is like, toes are hanging off the cliff. Like they're just so on edge. And I do check in with quite a few clients, especially the earlier ones that were friends that I'm closer to than just a brand new client walking in the door. And a lot of the feedback is like the very first thing they noticed. And it's something that came up when all of us came home from Hawaii after being worked on so much. We all looked at each other and said, why is nothing bothering us that used to? Why are our nervous system so like, normally X, Y, and Z would have totally triggered us and flipped us out. And now we're just like, okay, I can do this. Like I have a lot of clients that are telling me that the everyday anxiety that used to keep them exhausted because they were just on edge all day long, they're starting to feel like they can handle more things. They're more chill. They're not flipping out at home with the kids. They're not getting on edge with their coworkers. They're just, and they may have come to me for back pain or shoulder pain or something else, but they didn't realize because of their discomfort and disease, they've been so on edge all day long that it was affecting other things. And that's what's starting to melt off first. And I'm just like, what? That's awesome. Like, that is so awesome. Like, I'm so excited to hear that you're actually enjoying things a little more. You're stopping to smell the roses. You're not running right by them with your hair on fire. Like, this is nice to see that you're excited to just be a little more relaxed. And that wasn't your chief concern when you came in from day one, but it's almost the best thing that's happened since you started treatment so far. You know, I expect more, but that's great to start with. So
I think people don't
yeah, I've been really
yeah. I think people realize when they've got back pain or digestive issues or headaches, they're like, all right, I'm going to go see a spinal flow person. But I think when they have stress and anxiety and they're not okay, they just feel like there's no one to see for that unless it's a mind person. I think people don't realize that that's the first thing that we help people with. Like straight away, it's like, oh, I just am happier, or I feel better, or I'm not. Because what happens is it's like we've got a cup, you know, our stress cup gets filled and then it gets overfilled. Then anything else that comes in, it's just like, I can't. And what we do is we just remove stress from the system. We create more ease, we create more flow. So if there is stress that comes in, it can just move up and down the spine and move out. So we really help people move from that sympathetic fight flight to parasympathetic rest digest nervous system, which is so much nicer.
Yeah, and I mean, if speaking in my own health, I mean, as a chiro, you would be familiar with Chiari. I actually have Chiari. And so that can present a lot of fun headaches and shoulder and neck stuff for myself and after Hawaii. And even I've noticed just working as a practitioner, my own health has started to improve. I feel like you mentioned one day that sharing the life force energy. It was just kind of a shift in belief. And I really sunk into that. Because I've had a lot of people ask me, how do you do this? How do you not take on all the pain and energy of your clients? And I really got deep into that belief system of like, you know what, that's just not, I mean, I'm a Reiki master, I'm an empath, all the things that they say, I have the gifts, but spinal flow is different. Like, I just come home feeling so much better after I've shared that energy and space and healing with people. I don't look at it as taking on pain and disease and discomfort. I look at it as sharing in their change and their better situation once they leave me. I'm not giving it nice words, but
I'll give
it's
it
not the
some
pain and
words.
disease. In my mind, that's left. Like what's
Yeah.
left over is what we're sharing. So
I love what you're
it's,
saying because that's what I want for you guys, that you leave your day and you feel better and you feel more energized and there's more healing for you. But you can look at the body two ways. You can look at the body as disease, illness, and stuckness, or you can look at it as pure energy, life force, chi, heart, and actually identical to everybody else's body. So I don't ever look at a body as disease, illness, ever. I don't even see it. But I look at a body and then they say to me, but I'm feeling this. And I'm like, oh, but the only thing I see is pure, pure ability to heal. So then my thing
right.
is, okay, well, let me just help bring this body into what it knows. And then really knowing that, hey, this body is the same as my body, which is the same as your body. And no offense, I'm going to offend heaps of people. We're all the same energy. There's only one. We're the same. And yes, there might be a blockage in my body here, which causes me a headache. And there might be one in your low back, which causes you, maybe digestion stuff. But you're not different. You haven't got bad energy. You just got a little bit of stuckness. And maybe that stuckness is so much that it's making you grumpy. And that just means that you've got stuckness in your body. And all we do is just help bring that flow. So it's just knowing, I think it's bringing healing in. Like, we're not different. We're not separate. You don't have good energy and I've got bad, or vice versa. Like, there's not even good or bad. That's it. We are identical. We're made of the same stuff. And that is love and intelligence and life force and chi, or whichever you want to call it. Some people call it God. I don't mind what you call it, but it's the energy of creation of who we are. And all we're doing is showing people that's who they are. And then we're allowed to be that too. So then, of course, we're going to feel energized in our own body. So we can't take on stuff that's not there to take on. I'm pretty full on with you guys about that, because I'm like, don't create stories. You can actually feel better. You can heal your own body. You can have an abundant practice and feel amazing in your body. That's what I go for.
Well, and it's interesting because the first story I started telling myself when I came home from Hawaii was, oh no, who's going to do spinal flow on me? There's not a practitioner for hours around. And I went, hey, silly, like, you're a spinal flow practitioner. You can do this to yourself. You can do the work. You can share with your clients' experiences. Like, the work is going to heal. And I have noticed a very big difference, a very big difference. So
That's so good. Thank you. Now everyone's like, oh, I want to see her. Can you tell us again where they can find you and how they can jump on all your things so they can find you?
Probably the best way is my website. It's Divine Seva, SEVA, and the number is 111, because that's a cool number for me, .com. And there's an entire page called Spinal Flow. And it shows pictures of me in Hawaii, and it talks about how you can book a free assessment. As of right now, I'm doing free assessments just to get people in the door. I just don't want people getting hung up on any reason that they can't show up and learn. And if it's something that makes sense for their wellness journey, then let's do it. And if not, we'll circle back and figure out something else. I do free seminars like you said to do. I do all the things on Facebook. So I also have a Facebook page for Divine Seva, so they can follow me there too. So
That's awesome. Well, thank you. I've learned so much from having you here, and I just love your certainty and your excitement and the changes you're making in this world. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Carly. It's kind of a joke in my house. You could wallpaper my living room with all the certifications I have, and I think Spinal Flow is the last one. Like, I'm done.
Yay.
This is amazing.
Yay.